This is the Practical Homeopathy Podcast, episode number 141 with Joette Calabrese.
Hi, I'm Joette Calabrese, and I welcome you to our healthcare movement, yours, mine, and the countless men and women across the globe who have retaken control of their family's health with practical homeopathy. So, for the next few minutes, let's link our arms as I demystify homeopathy, what was once considered an esoteric paradigm, into an understandable, reproducible, safe, and effective healthcare solution available to all. This is the medicine you've been searching for, my unique brand of homeopathy, practical homeopathy.
On today's podcast, join Joette as she sits down with Johnelle to uncover the incredible ways that homeopathy has transformed her life, helping her to overcome dry eyes, arthritis, and more. Discover how Johnelle is now inspiring her community by sharing her journey with homeopathy and even sparking interest among physicians. Don't miss this empowering conversation. Let's listen in.
Hi, Johnelle.
Hi, good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you too. Nice to see you again. So the reason I wanted us to meet today, as I just mentioned a moment ago, is because I want folks to see what can happen, what comes of learning just a little homeopathy and then learning a little more and then taking it to the next level and the next level and the next. So just give us a little background about yourself, if you don't mind.
Well, I guess I come from a family of foodies and health nuts, and I really took good health for granted until my health fell apart in 1997 when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I became a student of my body. I began to really take responsibility for learning more and not just trusting other people, especially doctors, to know what's best for me. So for 2 years, I pretty much just checked out of anything and studied fibromyalgia, studied my body, went to all different types of treating modalities and just learned how to deal with fibromyalgia without drugs, because I first started out with doctors and all they offered me was just prescriptions. And my body sees those as toxins.
Your body's a pretty smart entity.
That's true. Yes. And so that put me on the right path, but I didn't know how much more I had to do until my health fell apart again in 2020 when I had a horrible lung injury and landed in the hospital, had to have surgery because the fluid on my lungs was causing a lot of pressure on my heart, and my heart was going into AFib. And so they had to do surgery, and they did every test imaginable and turned me loose with a lot of prescription drugs, and I did not thrive. And within 6 months, I had lost 25 pounds, and I could not sleep at night because of steroids. I could not eat because of the distorted sense of taste. I was exhausted, and I was losing ground every day, and I knew it, and I didn't know what to do about it. And that's when I discovered homeopathy, because a friend came through town and just said that her daughter had healed her of her dry eyes with homeopathy. So I pursued that with her daughter, and she cured my dry eyes with a remedy that was $7.99 at Target.
No, isn't it amazing? These medicines are so inexpensive.
Yes, yeah. And after that, I was so taken by the fact that she had rescued me from years and years of a very expensive prescription drug that was not even doing any good for my dry eyes anymore, but I was so brainwashed into believing that I had to have it that I was still paying over $600 per prescription for the dry eyes.
How often did you have to repurchase that prescription? So what was that, per 3 months?
Yeah, it was probably 2 to 3 months, yes. I would string it out because I would make one vial last more than the day that it was supposed to be tossed,
Right.
But I was losing ground there too, but I didn't realize that I could stop that until homeopathy came into the picture. So I contacted this young girl again. In fact, she was a homeschool mother of 6 kids.
That's usually the way it is, Johnelle. Those who are very busy, who come up with the answers. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had only used homeopathy on her children.
Mm-hmm.
And so that got my attention. So I texted her again. We were doing all of this just through email and texts. And I said, do you have anything for arthritis? So she gave me some suggestions. And after a few weeks, I told her, I said, well, it's helping, but it's not really dealing with it. So she tweaked it a little bit. And sure enough, the arthritis left me.
Do you remember what the remedy was, Johnelle?
Well, she started out with the combination of Roostox and Symvitum.
Yeah, which is a Banerjee protocol that I teach. Exactly. Right. Yes, yes.
And it just really didn't totally close the deal. And so she said, well, try dropping the Symvitum. And that's what worked.
And just go with just the Roostox. That can that can often do it. So was she a student? Was she one of my students and she had taken Gateway or something like that?
I don't know that she had taken Gateway, but she eventually contacted me and said that she had heard that there was a girl named Sheena Rice, was a very good teacher and was a student of yours, and she was going to be offering a Gateway class, and she was going to take it, and I might be interested.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that, and that's where things began to really change for me.
Yeah.
And I realized that there's a way for me to get this message, this good news about homeopathy to everyone around me. And so I started teaching the classes myself. And that's
so that's a whole nother chapter then, Johnelle. Tell me about that.
Yes. So I had so many people that had watched me literally look like I was dying in front of them. And then all of a sudden it turned and I was thriving. And so I had a lot of people's interest in homeopathy whenever I had earned that platform to talk about it. So when I was about to offer my first Gateway class, the day before we started the class, I just, on a whim, stopped in at the neighborhood nutrition center and asked the owner there if she would consider handling the higher potencies of boron remedies. I knew she had the 30C, but I was having to order a whole lot of them from other sources, and I hated to take the business out of town. So she said, I would consider that, and I want to take your class too. So that was another way that the community became more aware of what I was doing.
Yes.
And my own GP, who is open to things like homeopathy, recognized that what he didn't have to offer, homeopathy did. And so he even sends me some of his patients who get to the point that they say, I want to try something else now. And so he sends them to me. And of course, most of the time I don't know what to do with them because I'm not far enough along, but I'm learning. And the reason I'm learning is so that I can help people like that.
Yes, ma'am. So where are you from, Johnelle? Tell people about your hometown, and because I know you come from a very tight community, church community and otherwise.
Yes, I live in North Central Texas, Wichita Falls. We have about 100,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And our community is just very open to homeopathy for the most part. One doctor made an appointment with me after he found out I was in homeopathy, and he had treated me before. And he said, after 2 hours of visiting, he said, Johnelle, what is your goal? And so I told him, well, my first goal was to cure myself. And then my second goal was to teach other people how they could get healing. And my third goal is just to get the word out.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. That's it. That's it. The humanity needs to know about this. Now, we do have men who are in our academy and in our classes and run Gateway study groups, but it's generally 99% of my followers and those who are learning this are women. Probably because women have been tinkered with for a lot longer than men have. The moment a young girl gets menarche, if she has any problems, off she goes to the OBGYN. And so she starts very early, often with birth control pills and so much tinkering and tomfoolery that by the time she's a young woman, she's accustomed to just doing what the doctor says, taking all the drugs, etc. Men don't generally go to a doctor unless they have an injury. And so generally, and then later on and much later on in life. So women already have a bad taste in their mouth for what's happened to them in their lives. Plus, women really are the caretakers. We hold the families together. We take care of the children, the grandchildren, the elderly parents, the aunts and the uncles, etc. It is uniquely female in many ways.
Right.
Was he taken aback, Johnelle, by your answer? Did he like your answer? Was he?
Well, he was a friend anyway. And
okay.
So
That's
I asked
right.
him, I said, what is your goal? Why did you come over here?
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe I was in trouble.
Good question. Yeah.
He just kind of dropped his shoulders and he said, I have patients that I don't know what to do to help them.
And he's a GP, Johnelle?
No, he isn't. He's a gastroenterologist.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he said, I want to know if there's something out there.
Yes. Well, we do have doctors who join our programs too. They say exactly the same reason. Exactly the same.
I've had doctors take my classes too. I've done the Gateway classes 6 times.
Yes. Tell me about that. I'd love to hear about that, the Gateway classes.
Well, every time I would do the class, that would generate more interest because everybody that took the classes would tell their friends, you've got to do this.
Right.
And so before I knew it, I was teaching them twice a year. And there is a museum here that is under the umbrella of our university. And so I've been able to teach there.
Oh, okay. You're not doing it online. You're doing it locally, right in person, which is really the best way, if possible.
Right. Yeah. It's called the Lifelong Learning Center.
Oh, perfect.
And it's for people that want to continue to learn for the rest of their lives. And
yes.
I'm almost 75 years old and I signed up for a 4-year course in homeopathy. So
You bet. Yes. It's so good. And so you take them through Gateway 1 and you use our curriculum, and then you take them through Gateway 2. You've inspired a lot of people.
Well, I enjoy doing it because I believe in it. And I think they detect my passion.
Yes.
Exhibit A for the success of homeopathy. So I'm down to only one prescription drug, and that's just a low dose blood pressure medication.
Oh, yeah. And you could probably work with that too.
I'm trying.
Yes, ma'am. We've had people who run the Gateway programs, the classes, who have had a couple of students who come in for the first class and they say, you're selling too much. It feels like you're trying to sell us something. And I've actually had one of our Gateway leaders say, no, I'm not really selling. And then I said, no, let me explain to you what you're doing. You really are selling. And this is the best kind of sales they'll ever be exposed to. Yes, we are selling. We are selling something that could be absolutely life-changing. In fact, for most people, it is life-changing. It gives us such liberty, such freedom. There's nothing else. Tupperware, jewelry parties, cake making parties, all fun. This is fun, and it elevates us. It brings us to the next level as humans into what we really should be doing on this earth, and that is taking care of those around us as best we can.
And I'm very clear in my mind that this is the purpose that God has given me.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Years and years ago, I started praying that I didn't know if God still gave the gift of healing to people. But I said, God, if you do still give that gift, give it to me so I can help people.
Yes, ma'am.
And I wouldn't say that I am a healer, but I am showing people where they can have healing.
Well, you're directing them to the right information.
Right.
Yeah, you're directing them. And it's very comforting, I'm sure, to many people that you're not a young whippersnapper who doesn't know. You've been through it. You've been through the mill. You've lived on this earth for a number of years. You've met with many people. You have lots of contacts. And so your reach and your ability and your integrity is clear.
Well, it's an adventure that I thank God for every day, because how many women or how many people at my age find a new passion and feel driven to develop it? That's a blessing.
It is a blessing. And it keeps us, as we age, we're very close in age. As we age, it keeps us relevant. It keeps us so important in life. And so as we age, we become better instead of less than. And that's what we need to reverse in society anyway. So this is the perfect combination of the youth appreciating the elderly and those who are in need appreciating those who have answers. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
And when I offer my Gateway classes, or when I did, it occurred to me that I was losing a lot of people after Gateway 1 because they had so much content that they had to organize in their mind and relearn and review. So I just made a decision that I was only going to offer my classes if you signed up for both of them.
Oh, smart idea, Johnelle, because there's so much great information in Gateway too.
Yeah, I only was getting maybe half of the people for the second Gateway class. So the last group, I just decided, well, you got to sign up for the whole works and you got to order the bundle from Joette's website and we'll go straight through, no breaks. And that has helped with the quality of students that I have.
Yeah, because they're more committed.
Yes, and they know what they're doing. So it's a
Right.
better advertisement for homeopathy.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Because we do have to uphold the name homeopathy and practical homeopathy,
Yeah.
using the protocols and all. Yes, yes, yes.
And one of the perks that I have for those who actually graduate from both gateways is that once a month I host just what I call the North Texas Homeopathic Community Meeting. So on the second Wednesday of the month, we are at my home, and anybody who's graduated is welcome to attend. We usually have 15, 18 people.
Nice.
All enthusiastic people. Start out with success stories. Everybody has something to write on because we all learn from each other. And then typically we'll have a presentation. One of our recent presentations was from a girl who I used to do jail ministry. And this young lady took both of my classes. She's a great success story herself, but she had suffered from chronic depression for most of her life. And she volunteered to do a presentation. And what she said was that homeopathy had delivered her from her lifelong depression through the Banerjee protocol. And everybody was taking notes, and people that weren't even there that day heard about it and contacted her and contacted me about what they could do for their depression. And it was just wonderful to see how this just continues to bless more and more people.
People who seem as though there's no hope for can be very much helped.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was any hope for me.
That is often the way we feel. I mean, most of us who have come to homeopathy, we've not skipped into the homeopathic realm. We've crawled into it. We've tried every single paradigm out there. We've done it all. We've lost faith in this method and that method, and other methods are, hold some value. But I really believe that homeopathy is the cadence. That's where we can go, I found home.
Yes. And it's very depressing to get old and to accumulate all of these different chronic diseases, chronic conditions, and to think that you're going to have to deal with that through pharmaceuticals with all of their side effects. That's really depressing.
Yes, it is.
New hope, and to recognize that you can turn that around through homeopathy. That's like the gospel of medicine.
I know that's your phrase. I love that phrase, Johnelle.
Well, it just occurred to me that that's what homeopathy is. Homeopathy is to medicine what Jesus Christ is for the world.
Oh, how beautiful. Well, I often say that it's God's medicine, but I think I like the gospel of medicine even better. It kind of really tightens it up further.
I've often called it God's medicine too, or the medicine of the people.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And for a long time, it was kept away from people, of the general public. And what I mean by that is the method that has been taught throughout the U.S. and some places in Europe has kept the general public from learning how to deal with chronic conditions. And that's why when I spent those years in India with the Banerjees, that I felt I was onto something so important, because I would be able to teach a mom, a grandmother, how to treat rheumatoid arthritis, how to get rid of chronic eczema, how to get rid of depression, etc. Instead of only looking at homeopathy, if you're just going to study a little bit, as an acute medicine. So you could use it for a broken bone, or if you have an ear infection or something. No. There is so much more to this medicine. And I love being able to bring that out, and having you do this really on my behalf, on Hahnemann's behalf, on the Banerjees' behalf is really super exciting for me, really encouraging to me.
Well, it's just like we are making disciples, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes. So, Johnelle, I can't thank you enough for meeting with me. I appreciate your time, because I know that you have a very busy schedule. You are on a mission, not just with homeopathy, but through your church. You're doing a lot of great work. And so God bless you and the work that you do. And thank you again for meeting with me. And if there's anything we can do, or I can do personally, to support you, I would hope that you'd get a hold of me.
I will keep that in mind. And I appreciate you doing this interview today.
Yes, it's my pleasure. Take care of yourself, Johnelle, and happy Easter.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless you too. Bye now.
Bye.
It's my honor to share many lessons on this simple method of using homeopathy for free without affiliates or advertising here in my podcasts, but also my blog posts and Monday Night Lives. But it's critical that you learn how to use these medicines properly. These podcasts should serve as only the beginning of your training. Peruse joetteslearningcenter.com to find fun study group opportunities and in-depth courses developed by subject. So with the proper training, you can join the thousands of students before you in developing the confidence and competence to protect the health of your family and loved ones with my brand of homeopathy. Practical homeopathy.
You just listened to a podcast from internationally acclaimed homeopath, public speaker, and author, the founder of the Academy of Practical Homeopathy, Joette Calabrese. Joette's podcasts are available on all your favorite podcast apps. To learn more and find out if homeopathy is a good fit for your health strategy, visit practicalhomeopathy.com.